Hi everyone, it's me, Julia Fensom, the baby consultant. So for this video, I thought I would have a quick discussion about all the different things that can actually affect your baby's sleep that you might not even have considered, you might not have realised. And this does kind of go from newborns all the way up to like much bigger children, well, toddlers. But for like the main ones are the environment. So what is your baby's room like? Is it darkness? Because babies, if you have to remember, are used to being in the dark womb. So actually night lights and little lights like that can actually be very distracting for a child, for a baby. So when I'm talking right now, I'll just refer to them as babies, so just avoid toddler issues and baby issues. So it's mostly babies. But so nice dark room. So if you can get blackout curtains, that works really well. Do they have a softie? So something soft that they can snuggle. If they're older, if they're younger, you can put it in the crib, just far away from them or down by the feet. But it starts to develop the smell of the bed. If you're having issues with attachment, you can always try and wear it. As a mum, you just tuck it down your top for a day. It develops your scent, and then when you put it in the cot, baby can smell you, which is very nice for them. If you have any very nice mobiles, I'm not quite sure where the whole mobile thing came in from, but actually they are also very distracting for babies. Basically anything that you might think stimulates your baby and gets them all like, ooh, this is nice, is not ideal for when you want to put them to sleep. You basically need to make it as boring as possible, so there's nothing to look at, nothing exciting. So that's your environment. You can also have issues with how much sleep your baby is getting. So either they can sometimes be getting too much sleep during the day, which means that they don't sleep very well at night, or they're getting too little sleep during the day, which also means that then they don't sleep well at night. So it can actually, you have to think of it more as a 24-hour day and how much sleep they're getting in 24 hours, because it does all work together. Again, their amount of time awake that they can spend changes as they get older. So newborns can only spend a maximum of 1 to 2 hours. Mine never lasted more than 45 minutes awake, including a feed, which is why you get that lovely milk coma when they feed and then they fall asleep when they're newborns, which is lovely. But if you keep developing that pattern, that's the only way they learn to fall asleep, which is great for some mums. Some mums love that, but I've always felt that I needed to have time. I have my 4 children. I couldn't ever really have much of an opportunity to spend hours trying to get the baby to sleep. So again, figuring out how much awake time your baby should have for their age group, and watching them as mostly, as if you watch them, you then tend to miss and avoid the sleep regressions, because you know your baby, you know when they're tired. You can change it for the day, so that if they have one day which is particularly stimulating, you take them to a soft play with a big sibling, and then you realize that actually they're tired much faster. Then you can put them down straight away, as opposed to sticking to a strict schedule where you're like, oh no, well you haven't been awake for your 2 hours yet, and then they get overtired. So trying to be flexible with their sleep and their nap times depending on the day. So that's kind of your wake times and your nap times. Again, trying to make sure that you leave them. A lot of the problems a lot of people have is that the minute the baby, you hear them making a noise and they go, oh, it's been 35 or 45 minutes, they run upstairs and get the baby, but actually quite often their baby's just woken up from one sleep cycle and they need to put themselves back to sleep if they're self-settlers, in which case you need to give them about 5 to 10 minutes. If they're happy in their crib and they're just chatting and babbling away to themselves, just give them another 5-10 minutes, see if they'll go back to sleep. Then they might genuinely then sleep properly, sleep another hour and a half, sleep a good 2-hour nap. Whilst quite often, if you have, or like if they're crying, then obviously don't leave them in there, they've woken up properly. But if they need to sleep a little bit longer, then you can give them a little bit more time, just to try and see if they can put themselves back to sleep. Yeah, yeah, without funding. Without funding. So Tavia now, what's the time? Just to give you a quick example, it's 9 o'clock. He woke up at 6:40 for a feed, so he's been awake since then. So actually that's a very long time. And cue, very perfect. So now we're going to go put him down for a nap because he needs to sleep.